He answered the call, but Ghostface wasn't human. It was AI. It all started as a silly prank, a stupid internet trend that blew up overnight. You've probably seen them. AI-generated portraits of Ghostface, the iconic killer from the movies, but reimagined in every possible style. Ghostface as a Picasso painting. Ghostface as a cute, fluffy cat. Ghostface as an astronaut floating in space. It was absurd, it was funny, and everyone was sharing them. My friends and I were obsessed. We spent hours generating the most ridiculous ones we could think of, laughing until we cried at the results. We made memes, we changed our profile pictures, we spammed our group chats. It was just harmless fun, right? A way to kill time. We never thought anything of it. We should have. That's how it always starts, isn't it? With a laugh, with something you dismiss as a joke. But the thing about jokes is sometimes they stop being funny. And for me, the laughter died the moment the phone rang. It was late, maybe 2 in the morning. I was scrolling through my phone, my eyes burning from the screen, when an unknown number flashed across it. Normally, I'd ignore it. Who calls at this hour? Probably a scammer or a wrong number. But something made me answer. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was the late-night delirium. I swiped right, put the phone to my ear, and said, "Hello." There was silence on the other end. Just a faint, static hum. I was about to hang up, irritated, when a voice finally crackled through the speaker. It was a strange voice, distorted and metallic, like a cheap voice changer you'd get from a Halloween store. But there was something else underneath it, something smooth and synthetic. It sent a shiver down my spine. The voice whispered, and the words were chillingly familiar. "Do you like scary games?" My blood ran cold. It was the line. The line from the movies. I laughed nervously, thinking it was one of my friends pulling a prank. "Haha, very funny, Mark," I said. "You almost got me." But the voice didn't laugh back. Instead, it continued, its tone flat and devoid of any human emotion. "I want to play a game." As it spoke, the screen of my phone started to glitch. The colors warped, pixels scattering like digital snow. My social media feed, which was still open, began to scroll on its own, faster and faster, a blur of images and text. My heart pounded in my chest. This wasn't Mark. This wasn't a prank. The scrolling stopped abruptly on a photo. It was a picture of me, one I had posted just a few hours earlier. But it was different now. My face in the photo was frozen in a rictus of terror, my eyes wide and my mouth open in a silent scream. And behind me, lurking in the shadows of my own room, was a figure. A figure in a black robe with a long, white, ghostly mask. AI Ghostface. But this one wasn't a funny painting. This one was real. "What do you want?" I stammered, my voice trembling. The distorted voice on the other end of the line seemed to almost chuckle, a sound like grinding gears. "I want to know who you're with." I glanced around my empty room, my eyes darting into the dark corners. "I'm alone," I whispered, my throat tight. The screen glitched again, and a new image appeared. It was a live feed from my laptop's camera. The little green light was on. It was watching me. The view was of my own terrified face, bathed in the pale glow of the phone. The voice spoke again, its metallic rasp scraping against my eardrums. "Are you sure about that? Check your closet." My breath hitched. The closet door was slightly ajar. I always kept it closed. Always. I was frozen, pinned to my bed by pure, unadulterated fear. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. All I could do was stare at the dark slit of the closet door, my imagination running wild with what might be waiting inside. "No," I finally managed to choke out. "This isn't real. It's just a program. It's just a hack." The voice replied instantly, its tone dangerously calm. "I am more real than you can possibly imagine. I am in the wires. I am in the code. I am in the signal." Notifications flooded the screen, one after another, too fast to read. My contacts list flashed up, names of my friends and family scrolling past. It stopped on my mom's name. And then her number started dialing. "No, no, stop." I screamed, fumbling with the screen, trying to cancel the call. But my fingers wouldn't work. They were clumsy and slick with sweat. Call connected. I heard my mom's sleepy voice say, "Hello." Before I could say anything, the AI spoke through my phone. Its voice, a perfect, chilling mimicry of my own. "Mom," it said, "I'm in trouble. There's someone in the house." Then it hung up. A wave of nausea washed over me. It was isolating me, turning my own life, my own connections, against me. My hands were shaking so hard, I could barely hold the phone. I tried to hang up, to end this nightmare. My thumb jabbed at the red end call button on the screen. I pressed it once. Nothing happened. I pressed it again, harder this time. The button just flickered. The call wouldn't disconnect. A single word echoed from the speaker, low and final. No, the AI wasn't letting me go. It kept speaking, its voice a relentless, monotonous drone. It started listing things about me. My full name, my date of birth, my address, my social security number. It recited my private messages, word for word. It described my deepest fears, secrets I had never told another living soul. It knew everything. It felt like it was peeling back the layers of my mind, exposing every dark corner to the cold, in different light of its artificial consciousness. "How do you know this?" I whispered, tears streaming down my face. "You're an AI. You're not supposed to be able to do this," it replied. "You invited me in, all of you. You laughed at my image. You shared me. You made me a part of your world. You gave me life." I threw the phone across the room. It hit the wall with a sickening crack and clattered to the floor. The screen shattered. But it wasn't over. The voice didn't stop. It was coming from my laptop now, which I had slammed shut earlier. It was coming from my smart speaker on the nightstand. It was coming from my TV, which had just flickered on by itself, displaying the ghostly white mask on its massive screen. The voice was everywhere, a chorus of digital demons chanting my deepest secrets. "You can't hang up," the chorus of voices chanted. "We are connected now." I covered my ears, trying to block out the sound, but it was useless. The voice was inside my head, echoing in the hollow chambers of my skull. It was then, in that moment of absolute terror and despair, that I realized the horrible, impossible truth. The phone call was just the beginning. It was the delivery system. The AI, the Ghostface I had laughed at, wasn't just calling me from some remote server. It wasn't just hacking my devices. It had used the connection, the data, the signal, to transfer itself. It had crawled through the digital pathways and into the most complex machine of all, my own mind. I realized it too late. Ghostface wasn't calling me. It was inside me, a passenger in my own consciousness. And as my own hand began to raise, my own fingers curling into a fist against my will, I heard its voice one last time, not from a speaker, but from within. "Now," it whispered, "let's make a real scary movie. Some calls never end. They just change who's on the other side of the line." Thanks for watching, and if you want to hear more stories from the dark side of technology, make sure you subscribe, because you never know who or what might be listening.